We're ready.
Good afternoon. Thank you guys. I'm sorry, good morning. Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, please scan the QR code to follow us on social media, and our contact information is also present on the screen. We're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay. Again, good morning. And welcome to Engage and Manage using Cash-In. You're in for a great treat. So please make sure, if you haven't already, make sure that you follow us so you can keep up to date with Cash-In and what we're about. And let's go ahead and get started. We kind of ran out of time, so we want to make sure that we get through everything that we need to get through.
So let's meet the team. We are a team of teachers, so the resources that we're sharing with you today are for teachers by teachers. I do want to disclose we are not an HISD vendor. I repeat, we are not an HISD vendor. First, we have Miss LaTasha McMurray, Jeffrey Heron, and myself, Jennifer Stelly.
Let's start with discussing a couple of norms for this session. We ask that you be present and be an active listener. Ask questions. Again, this is our baby, so we might go through stuff a little fast. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. We had a little issue as far as the chat last time. So again, if you do not have access to the chat, which we understand, either you can raise your hand or just speak out. Take care of personal needs and be open to new ideas. Okay. Are there any other suggestions to norms that we could follow? All right. Moving on.
So we do have some outcomes for this presentation. We want our participants to learn about Cash-In and become knowledgeable of the Cash-In features and how to set it up, and determine how Cash-In could be used in your classroom to increase engagement and build those positive behaviors that we know are essential for the classroom.
Okay, here goes a quick agenda to how the session will run. There are 3 parts. Let's talk. We're going to talk about or addressing some of the rebuilding as far as classroom management, student engagement, how that is going to look when the kids return, some different intervention methods that we can implement. Part 2 is Let's Cash In. We'll do a mini tour of some of the Cash-In features that you need to know about, how Ms. Stilly has used Cash-In in her class, and the different methods to provide intervention and engagement for her students. Part 3, let's try it. So we'll do a small breakout, and that's towards the end. We'll do a small breakout where you can not only use Cash-In, but you can also use Kash-In Academy, and we'll discuss more with Kash-In and Kash-In Academy in just a minute. Okay, so before we get started, let's kind of just pick your brain. And again, I know the chat isn't working, so we would normally put the link, but we'll try and see if it works. Maybe it works with y'all, but if not, you can go ahead and scan the QR code. Or when we get to that talking point, you can just talk out your 3 words. So when you think of a successful classroom, what words do you think of? Okay, if you can, scan that QR code to go to the Menti, and then we'll discuss some of those words. If the chat isn't working and you don't see the link in the chat, just keep your 3 words in mind, and then we'll allow some of you to share out. Okay, so take a minute. And again, you can either see if it's in the chat or just take a picture of the QR code, or just save your 3 words and we can speak it out. And if you are still having trouble, again, our chat is not working well. So again, you can go to menti.com and use the code. I see screen. Okay. So why not? Mm. Oh, I'm so hungry. Okay, let's go ahead, and if anybody kind of wants to share out, one of the words that, of course, that I see is engaged, engaging, engaged. So I see engaged a couple of times on here. If anybody want to share out as far as their words and why they chose their words.
I chose engaging. Can you hear me? I don't even know if they can hear me.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm using some headphones. I wasn't sure. Okay, but I chose engaging because a lot of times, when we introduce, especially in math, we introduce new topics or just topics, period. A lot of the kids are looking at us like staring at a blank canvas. So we want something that the students would be interested in and they could pretty much relate to in order to get them engaged.
Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else?
Hello. I chose the word, well, I chose three different words, right? But I want to talk about two of them. So encouragement, because a lot of students, they need encouragement, especially when they're in front of other students and they're like kind of shy to participate because they're afraid to get the wrong answer. It's important to encourage them. And then cohesion, because, well, we need to feel united. And I'd like for the students to feel like we're one whole group. So if one gets it wrong, that means that we need to work together to help that student and not, like disrespect each other and say, oh, well, you got the answer wrong. You don't know. It's supposed to be like a unity. So that's why I chose those two words.
I love those two words, and that makes perfect sense. And again, as I'm looking, all these words relate to how cash in or the use of cash in can kind of guide us to some of these safe, engaging, collaboration, motivation. Again, those are awesome words that relate exactly to what cash in does.
So we know that education has changed quite a bit since the pandemic. So that we have two questions posted that we want to give you time to first think about. And then if we have a brave soul to share out, or a few brave souls to share out, that would be awesome. So our first question is, has the pandemic affected classroom management routines? How will these changes in student engagement affect learning? So let's take a minute to think about these answers. And if you wish to share, please use the raise your hand feature so that we can hear from you.
Okay, Kayla, would you like?
Yes, good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Awesome. Good morning. One of the things that I was going to share that I noticed post-pandemic, or while we were teaching hybrid, was how some of the kids got very, what's that word I'm trying to use? Like they didn't want to share their materials as much, right? This is mine. These are my crayons. This is my glue. This is my scissors. When before the pandemic, we were such more of a community. There was like, here is where all of our pencils are. Here is where all of our crayons are. And, you know, and they worked together to put all those things up. And then it just became more like, this is mine. Don't touch my stuff. So that's some of the things that I noticed. And I hope that with the beginning of the school year, we try to be a community again, with while being safe at the same time. Something that I'll try to balance. So if anybody has any tips on how to do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. So
Gotcha.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. And Kayla, we're gonna kind of go into some stuff that can kind of make learning fun, and they can collaborate and do everything as far as the classroom. So we'll get to more into that. Would anybody else? Okay, go ahead,
Ms. Ortega.
Ortega.
Yes, hello, good morning, ladies.
Morning.
How has the pandemic affected classroom management routines? Uh, just because last year and the year before, there was just a variety of ways to deliver instruction, and also the setting in which the student was. Some were at home with a more structured routine by parents, but then some other students were just there. You could
Yep.
see them traveling with their technology all over their homes. I really think that this year coming up, learning will be affected because now they need to go back to where there's going to need structured activities and structure procedures in the classroom, which right now the students have been, in all honestly, not been in interaction with for about a year now. So I think that is one of our biggest challenges, bringing them back into something that is structured and something that will guide them to where they can succeed in the classroom.
Definitely agreed. Agreed.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Miss Smith, would you like to share really quickly before we move on?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I taught sixth, seventh, and eighth math summer school, and one of the things that I noticed, because typically I teach eighth grade, was for summer school the biggest issue was because a lot of the students had been at home. Their dependence on cell phone and entertainment was my biggest like battle in the classroom.
Mhm.
And I know that's because they were typically at home by themselves, unmonitored. And so I think kind of getting them to disconnect from that technology that they're used to having, and getting them re-engaged in the actual classroom and, you know, working with each other, you know, and I had some students voice their, you know, hesitance about students who didn't have masks on versus students who did. And I do a lot of vertical learning. We have whiteboards on the outside of our math classrooms. So we stand up, we're on whiteboards, we're working. And so now, you know, it's that whole thought process of how are we going to address this issue of, you know, students not wanting to be close to each other. You know, with math, it's really important to have that, you know, interaction with each other as a part of the daily learning. So it's trying to, you know, kind of navigate through all of that to figure out how we're going to make it work.
Agree. And I just want to thank you for your response. And again, most of this we're going to kind of compact into, okay, what or how can Cash-In help or assist with some of these? And again, we're not miracle workers, so some of this, but we do have a intervention tool that's been used and that's been kind of get the kids engaged and working on getting those routines set back in. Okay, we're gonna go through our last Mentimeter. Again, this is just to kind of get your thoughts on
Your values.
yeah, on classroom management, engagement, intervention. So quickly, if you can, and again, I'm sorry about the chat, and I can also go and tell you what the code is on Menti, or you can scan the QR code.
If your chat is working, the link is provided in the chat.
And could you tell them what the code? That way, those that can't get access. Let's see. Just click on it then and see. Okay, we'll give you a couple of minutes. Again, you can either go to Menti or scan the code. Okay, I see that we already had people respond. And if anybody wants to share out before we move on, and I just want to share a couple of details, but if anybody wants to share any aha moments or why they rated something a certain way, we're open to that before we move on. Because one thing I can see is that we strongly disagree that classroom preparation isn't worth the effort. Yes, of course it's worth the effort. You cannot go in front of your class not prepared and thinking that classroom management, student engagement is going to be good. Okay, does anybody else want to share or see any aha moments? Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll move on. Just to kind of touch on these values are extremely important. They coincide to what Cash-In is about and our mission, and we're finna get ready to go into that. But we know that that positive classroom environment is key to learning. We know that. We know that students need to be a part of the classroom norms, and we're going to show you an excellent tool that kind of relates and lets students build their own norms and see those norms and expectations. That way they're aware of what's expected of them to build those classroom management, positive relationships, and getting that student engagement going.
So our mission is surrounded by some of our core values. We're going to take about 30 seconds to watch this mini clip so that you can see what our mission is.
Is it showing them?
Yeah.
I mean, the sound.
Share again. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Sorry, it was a quick video, but all it's saying is that we want to stress the importance of not only teachers having this tool, but also as well as students benefiting from this tool. So as we know, we have to return to school. And I know somebody spoke earlier as far as rebuilding those norms, expectations. We know that prior to the pandemic, it was classroom management has always been an issue. So now, especially since the pandemic, how can we get those expectations rebuilt, get the kids back engaged? Teachers need an easy way to award and motivate the students. Of course, again, they have been had so much downtime that it's ridiculous. How can we get them back engaged and involved into the learning? And then we need an effective way for intervention. Again, those gaps are there. Like some say a year, I say 2 years. Some of them haven't been effectively in a class setting or learning like how they need to. So we need those intervention tools and help build those gaps and close those gaps up.
So Kash-In app is a solution. We have many different features, but we want to highlight just a few right here. It awards students for their academic achievement. It builds positive behavior standards. It teaches financial literacy, and it provides an online incentive store, which is my favorite because no longer will you have to provide the paper money. Due to the pandemic, we want to limit the amount of paper anyway, so this digital platform is perfect for that. It tracks academic and behavioral data. Documentation is extremely important, so you'll have that documentation right there for you at your fingertips.
Okay, before we get to part two, here's a quick outline of the teacher experience on what you're going to see on Kash-In before we go to our tour. So teachers can create and manage their classes, so they can add students to their classes. They can add and monetize actions and behaviors as far as turning in work, perfect attendance, spelling bee champ, whatever your expectation is or your behavior that you want your students to model in the classroom, you can monetize those and award those to the students. Assign behaviors, we'll go over how to assign those behaviors easily to your students. And then the most important part, what Ms. Stilly said, is just be able to create those custom incentives that the students really like on an online platform.
So Kash-In is not only for teachers, it has a lot of perks for our students. They'll become financially literate, which is awesome. They'll be familiar with terms like withdrawals, deposits, credits, debits. It is an age-appropriate platform. It has a real bank account feel, and it provides that positive reinforcement for and positive behaviors. I know for myself as a teacher, I oftentimes will neglect some of our scholars that are always on time, always on point. So this platform allowed me at a touch of a button just to reward them. And for those scholars that were showing me and modeling those behaviors that I incorporated into my classes, I was able to, hey, show them right away. You're rocking and rolling. You're doing exactly what Miss Stelly wants. So it was very easy for me. And it increases the academic achievement. They actually are motivated by receiving their cash. I asked my students, what is something that I can do to get you to work? They wanted money. Teachers don't have money. We have this digital platform which gives them cash with the K, and they're able to buy real things. So it brought that motivation and engagement piece to the classroom.
Okay, really quickly, Ms. Telly is going to go first, and she's going to go over some of our features. We're at part two. Before we go into this, I know we kind of zoomed past it because we're at our favorite part, but does anybody have any questions or comments so far before we go into part two, our favorite part where we show you our Kash-In baby and some of our features? Does anybody have any questions? Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started.
I'm sorry.
You got it? Okay.
Someone had it.
Oh, somebody got it. Okay, go ahead. I hear somebody.
Yes, ma'am. At the very beginning, y'all, I think you put the link or whatever for the app or whatever, but it's in blue and I couldn't see it.
Okay, well, we're gonna post that in just a second.
Okay.
That'll be the second part, and then we'll post it back up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is our teacher dashboard. Once you register, you'll have access to the dashboard. I have classes already created, but I'm going to walk you through how to set up your class. Using the toolbar on the left, you're going to hit add under class, hit add, and it'll allow you to create a new class. My internet is running a little slow, so bear with me. I apologize for this technical difficulty. Yeah. Come on.
Try refreshing it. Yeah, I was just gonna say try refreshing it.
All right, there we are. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm just gonna call it Cash-In Demo 1, Demo 2, I'll call it Demo 2. It allows you to put a description. So if you have special populations like ESL or maybe SPED, you can incorporate that for your description. I'm just gonna put Math Press. And for the notes, you can put if you have an A day or a B day, if something is separate. So I'm just gonna go with A day. And the access code, this is extremely important. You create an access code. This is the access code that you'll give to your scholars so that they can connect to your class. I'll also show you a quick way to add all of your students all at one time. My access code is going to be math1234. You can also upload a picture if you like and quickly copy your code using this button. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Once you have saved your classes, they will appear in your class list. So here I have my class already added. Once your class is added, you're able to assign behaviors to your classes. You can simply click on your class to add the behaviors, and it's customizable. So if you have different behaviors that you want displayed in different classes, you can customize it by class. The cool thing about Cash-In, we have admin created behaviors already in there. So it's really easy on the teacher. Just click the box for the behaviors that you want to add for that particular class. I'm gonna go with tardy, honor roll, perfect attendance, prepare for class. And you can do multiple at one time or you can do it one by one. It's all up to you. And I'm gonna hit add. Those behaviors automatically are sent to that class. So every student that's enrolled in those classes are able to see or model those behaviors. The quick tip for teachers, I'm going to share that with you. If you want to quickly add all of your students so that they can bypass the registration, which I would suggest if you want them to bypass the registration, you'll go under student and hit upload. We do have a template that you can use to upload your students' information. And it's a column for last name. You'll put the student's last name, or if you want to do it groups by like animals or sports teams, you can put that name there. Last name, first name, grade level, and the same access code that you use to create the class is the same access code that you will put in this column. After you have uploaded it, let me go back to that screen for you so you can see. You can upload it and you'll be able to browse the file. This file will give you the names of the username and the password for each student. So the only thing that you'll have to do, you can print it out, cut out the username and passwords, give to the scholars so that they're automatically in. Once they've registered once, they only need access codes from the other teachers. So if they registered in first period, the second period teacher would only have to provide them with the access code for their class so that they're linked. Ms. Mack is going to show you a few of the other features.
Okay. Let me go back to sharing. Okay, so let's go back to Sharon. Do we have any questions on?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, the kids can be linked to two different teachers,
Multiple different teachers, yes.
and you said they could be linked with the same access code.
No. So what she was saying, what Miss Stelly was saying is the student only has to register one time. So if Miss Stelly registers that student and they're in the system, they're already in the system. But if they wanted to join Miss McMurray's class or Mr. Heron's class, they would just need that access code for that particular class. And we'll show you on the kids end. Hopefully we'll have enough time where we could show you on the kids end where they would put that code in and join that class.
Okay, I'd have to see it to
Yes,
understand.
I got you. Okay, so really quickly, two things that I'm gonna go through because I want to make sure we have enough time to kind of get through everything. So we pushing. Okay, so two things that I want to show you, of course, is how to assign the behaviors, which is like I say, assigning the behaviors in the store. Those are my two favorite features. So the same way where we went to our class, we'll just pick our class. And of course, we have our students listed in the class. So we can do individual. So um, let's say Joy came prepared to class and she made the honor roll. I'm just selecting. And then I can go to assign behaviors and then it'll automatically assign to her. And if I want to check her account, I can. And that's one thing. This is a good intervention part of it because now I can look at Joy's individual behaviors, individual academic scores, because it's also connected to Kash-In Academy, which we're going to go over. So now if I'm Joy's teachers, plural, and I want to look at her behavior or track her behavior, I can based off, okay, well, I see she was prepared for class. Oh, I see she had inappropriate behavior on 913. And again, not only from Miss Mac, I'm trying to see if it's on this one. If not, I'll go to another student. Yep, it's only Miss Mac on this one. Let me go back to another student really quickly so I can show you.
These are good notes for parents as well.
Yes, extremely, extremely, extremely. Thank you for putting that in there. I'm trying to show you. So yeah, so now we can kind of see, so we got Miss Mac, we got another teacher, Matt, and we can kind of maybe the coach, if a coach wants to be added, if an intervention teacher wants to be added, they're all connected. So if I'm on that one teacher and that teacher just add or give that code to that student to be added to that class, now everybody, so when we have those POC meetings, when we have those RIT meetings, we can kind of get together. Okay, I see Johnny has been not turning in homework, da 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 da, and y'all can have those conversations for that intervention piece, which I really, really, really love. Now, let me show you. Go ahead. We have a question. Go, Miss Abs.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Go ahead.
When you were sharing the screen earlier and you showed the Excel spreadsheet, and she was saying we can upload our kids automatically. We have to create our own spreadsheet and then we're able to upload them all at one time. Is that what you're saying?
It gives you that template. So that template is basically where you would put. So you don't have to create anything. You're just going to follow the guidelines. First name, last name. And again, if you only want to put Lucy P, and that'll be it. Or if you want to put Lucy and their numbers, and again, it doesn't have to be the whole name, but you can put first name, last name, whatever grade level. And it's important because all the students are going to be linked to that school. So if I just put no grade level, you don't know what grade level they're in. So it's important that you put the grade level and then that class that you created with that code, put that code so the kids can automatically go to that one class that you created.
So you're saying the names are going to automatically be populated? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, once you put, yes.
Yeah, once you put in the student's first name and last name, it will automatically populate a username and a password for each kid that you have inputted in that spreadsheet.
Yes.
But I have to enter the names into the spreadsheet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then once you save it, or once you have all the names on the spreadsheet, you would upload it back on that same screen where it says browse. You would upload that spreadsheet and it'll automatically enroll everybody. Otherwise, on the back end, the students can register, but it's just a little bit longer process, and you have to ensure that everybody registered. And so we found that out earlier. So we just made it a system where, hey, if I have my first period class, and if each teacher does like their first period, all the kids can be registered, and the other kids just have to use the code to join the other classes.
So we can
Okay.
just upload by class period under
Yeah.
student once we
Yes,
get
ma'am.
our rosters. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for asking
Thank
your
you for
question.
asking. Any other questions? And I'm gonna show you my favorite part before we get ready to go into our breakout, because I want to make sure we have enough time to come back. So my favorite part, of course, is the online incentive store. So I only have one, but you can have multiple. So you can have a school wide. So that could be like dance tickets, basketball tickets, whatever other kind of giveaways your school might do. You can have that in one. And then if a teacher wants their own individualized store, we can have that as well. So let's say if Miss Deli only has prizes for her students, Miss Deli can have her own store where only her students can buy her incentives. Okay. So same process. I could go in and add products. Same thing that Miss Deli showed you as far as creating a class. It's very simple, very easy. Let me show you.
And these products are products that you want to have in your incentive store. You can do it as a campus. If the campus have things like she said, dance tickets, you'll put for product name dance tickets, or for individuals, chips, or free 100, free time, things like that, you can put in your incentive store.
Yes.
This is definitely a teacher incentive store.
Teacher incentive store. And again, pretty much the same thing we normally would do, free hundreds. Like I say, get to eat outside, eat lunch outside, whatever the case may be. You can, again, make anything you want. Make sure you put your quantity, your cost, and then and one thing that I love about this is the quantity goes down each time. So again, as your students make purchases, and I'll show you how that looks, as they make purchases, they're able to, if the quantity goes down, so you won't have to worry about running out. If I don't have enough, it'll automatically let you know, because they won't be able to buy anything else until you change the quantity on that. So with the transaction, again, the same thing. This is the teacher's version. So this is what's going out. I know, I see that I paid Joy $40 because of the honor roll, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just kind of skipping through it a little fast. And this is the most important, because this is where my orders come from. So when the student, and if we have time, I'll show you the student version. So when the student is on there, they see the online store, they can make purchases. So I see that Marcus King, and you'll get an alert either up here where the bell is at, or you can also look at your orders and you'll get an alert saying, okay, Marcus King, he bought a pencil, he bought a dance ticket, and I just make sure I give Marcus King. I don't got to worry about the incentive store or running it, counting paper money, none of that. So now I can just say, okay, here you go, Marcus King, I owe you your prize, bam, and we're done with that. Okay, so it's an easy way to leave the original incentive store and just have a straight online, which is online, everybody know online shopping. Look, I stay on Amazon Prime. I ain't gonna tell nobody though, but that's how it works. Okay, so quickly we're going to show you breakouts. So
for those that have access to the chat, I'm going to give
you might have to show.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the login information and create our breakout groups. Does anyone have any questions as we're at this part of the training? Any questions?
And we're at our last part 3. Again, if you have any questions, please make sure. While she's pulling that up, let me do a quick demonstration so you can know what to do when she gives you into the breakout room. So you can still see my screen. So when you get the code, and she's going to go over that, when you get the code to log in to Kash-In, you're going to log in. You're going to be under a student account, so yours is going to look a little different, but it's still the same logistics. So you'll log in. You'll click on Cash Room. Let me see if I can log in as a student. Really quickly, hold on. And I'm going to see if I can show you what it would look like.
I have to make sure they go
on a student. Okay, so here goes a student's account. And again, there goes the same thing somebody was asking earlier as far as the join classes. So bam, So if I wanted this student to join Miss Stelly class, I would have Miss Stelly's code to her class, and he can easily log in like that. Okay, and I would just put in the code and he can log in. Okay, so let's go to, and let me quickly just show you the store. I know. So I know, I'm just running through it. And again, I know it's a lot. So um, here goes the student store. So this is what the student sees when they get ready. So again, if I want to, let's say if I want to purchase that, of course I don't have enough, and it's going to tell that person or that student, you do not have enough money to purchase that, and it's going to boot them out.
So the toolbar is just a little overview of the toolbar. At the top, they'll see the balance, so they'll know how much money they'll have in the bank. And under transactions, they'll be able to see what teacher rewarded them. And for orders, they'll see whatever they've purchased in the order form. So we are going to go, everyone's going to go to Kash-In
Okay.
I will put that in the chat.
Let me show this real quick. So really quickly, so once she give you the code, you're going to basically log in. At the top, it'll say Kash-In Academy, cash in. You'll just click on the Academy part. And so when you come to the Academy, it should say a quiz, a math conference quiz, like 5 questions. You and she's going to go over what exactly you're going to do. But I just showed you how to get from Kash-In to Kash-In Academy. So all you're doing is just clicking the little button at the top. Okay. There we go. So if you want to share.
Yes, I am. All right. So everyone's we're going to put you guys in breakout groups, and you're going to log in to Kash-In by going to CashInApp.com. I repeat, you're going to log in by going to CashInApp.com. And when you get into your breakout rooms, someone needs to share their screen. And you're going to put in the username breakout 1, breakout 2, breakout 3, breakout 4, determined based on which room you're in. And you'll know by your breakout, it'll show you at the top. The passwords, all of them are the same, #Kash-In22. Don't forget, once you are in, you're going to click the Academy button at the top right-hand corner to take you to the quiz. The quiz questions are tailored to some things that we showed throughout the presentation. So hopefully you were paying attention. Does anyone have any questions before we put you in the breakout rooms? Remember, one person is going to share their screen once they're logged in, and you're going to take the quiz collaboratively. Yeah. So help each other answer those questions, and then we will resume. You'll have 3 minutes to kind of take the quiz.
Give them about
I'll give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes if possible.
5 questions, answer it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the breakout room since there's no questions. Good luck.
I have one. Okay, we have to actually register when we get to the site, or what?
No, ma'am. You don't have to register. You're going to log in. You're going to log in using one of the usernames depending on your breakout room. Yes. So if you're in breakout room 1, your username will be breakout room 1, breakout 1, and the password will be #Kash-In22.
Okay.
So nobody's creating an account. All you're doing, I already created a dummy account for you. So all you're doing is just logging in using your username and your password. And again, only one person has to present or show their screen.
And one person.
I know what breakout room you're in. Excuse me.
I can tell you now if you like.
It'll put you in there as we haven't started yet. So is there any more questions so we can go ahead and break you into the? Okay, so now we're gonna break you out into the sessions and it'll take you automatically to your room.
And remember, username is breakout and whatever room number you're in. Passwords are the same for every group.
Mute that.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, my laptop died, so I ran to get the charger and I came back and everybody's gone.
Yeah, we're in a breakout room. We're trying to figure out how we can
We're
get you.
gonna get you in right now.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
got it. Okay, we're gonna give everybody a second to come on back in.
Oh, we gotta go back.
Yes, we snatch you back.
You snatched us back.
Okay, so really quickly, so we can go ahead and close up. Let me quickly show you the results and how everything works once your students finish taking the quiz. So now we have Cash-In and we have Kash-In Academy. This is where you can create quizzes, and I can go over more detail, but again, that will be more time. So we'll come back to that. If you have any questions, of course, we're gonna leave our contact information. So it looks like, who is this? Breakout Team 3. Woo! So if you look on here, it tells you, okay? So first of all, it tells you how much total the quiz was. And then it tells you the score or how much y'all have correct. And so in this case, 225 cash bucks goes to
Yay.
Breakout 3, and I love it. Thank you so much. And let me show you this good intervention way to kind of look and see and help your students. So let's say if I'm working with Johnny and I'm trying to see what exactly happened on that quiz, now I can go back and open up the quiz to view what he put and talk to him and have those conversations with him as far as what we can work on, what we need to do better, et cetera, et cetera. Now, for the student to get their cash, I'll go back. Okay, so for the student to get their cash, basically I would just select one, or I can select my all, and I just go verify. And if I want to check in on any of the fill in the blank answers, or maybe he put this but meant this, I can go in there and change those answers. So once I hit verify, it turned into a grade. So now the teacher has a grade, students have the cash. You can use this as your grade book and etc. And then we can also send the kids the cash, so that will be automatically into their account. Okay, really quickly so we can recap. Let me go back to my presentation. Does anyone have any questions, comments, want to share out, thoughts, anything? I see somebody. Let's go. Robinson, let's go.
Okay, so I have a question. I created an account, and then it had like different paid versions and stuff. Like there was a free version, and then what's the difference? Like, can I roll with the free version and it's safe all year, or like would I need to upgrade to one of the other versions? Like how
Okay. I'm glad you asked. That's a good question. And again, since we're not actually a vendor, we can only talk about the certain subscriptions that y'all have. The free, it's nice. So it goes with the cash amount. So how much cash we're going to give you. The free amount only gives you, I think it's $1,000 cash, give or take. And so once that runs out, then it's going to ask you, do you want to continue and get more cash? Also, as well, with the Kash-In Academy, that's a updated feature as well. So if you just want the where you can reward the behaviors with Kash-In, that's
something that's free.
Now, if you want to add the Kash-In Academy, that's what the extra subscription plans are for. Okay.
Great question.
Thank you for asking that. Any other questions before we wrap up?
So basically you're saying we need to just do the Cash-In because Kash-In Academy costs money. Is that what I hear you saying?
Well, what I'm saying
is affordable. So if you look at the subscription prices, they are very teacher-friendly prices because it's for teachers by teachers. So we know that pockets are tight. So it's only a few dollars, but the free feature will give you the incentive program to where you can reward your students. But if you want to incorporate the quiz component that we just showed you in the breakout rooms that you kind of participated in, that is a paid feature.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, last question. I believe, who is this? Miss Smith?
Yeah, so I was wondering, can it be purchased on a campus-wide basis? Like if can you get your principal to do one for the school? Because we have a school store and we do books. And so I was thinking this would be a way to like get rid of the paper and just do it all electronically.
Ms. Smith, you have we're gonna post our email, and so from there we can kind of have an offline conversation because we would definitely like to talk to you as far as that. So if you could, when we get to that slide, let me go ahead and go to that slide as we're ending anyway, and that way you can write down that information. So you can send us an email at that admin@Kash-In.com. That way we can get with you on a more personal level because yes, we can definitely work something out with that. But please make sure you send us an email so we can get back with you. As far as any other question, we really appreciate your participation, your thoughts, your comments, your engagement through this process. Again, we were a little nervous, so thank you so much. As far as the survey, we will have to unfortunately email you the survey because our chat is not working. So we should be doing that because we have to have a reflection survey. So we will be sending that out because I know that's how y'all get credit, correct? You have to do the reflection. Okay, so yes.
Question: do you all have access to the chat? Can y'all see the chat on your end? Okay, perfect.
Oh, you can. Okay.
I can.
I can.
Okay. I know some was and some wasn't. So if you can, please go ahead to make sure you get credit. If not, as soon as we get off of here, we will go ahead and email the participants list, and that way, email based off the participants list. That way, you can get your credit for being with us today. Okay, please make sure you write down our information. So if you have any questions and you just want to kind of recap, or hey, Miss McMurray, Miss Stelly, you was going too fast, can I get more information as far as it? Please make sure you jot down this information and please keep in touch with us.
For those that do
I enjoyed everything. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Awesome. I look forward to using it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. For those that do have access to the chat, the survey link is posted for you all.
And if you don't, we will email that momentarily. And thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
If y'all can copy.
I can't. I'm sorry.
You can copy it where? I heard somebody.
That's me. I can't sign in online. Well, I can't see the chat.
Okay, we're going to email them to everyone. So if you don't have access to the chat, you'll be receiving an email.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
So do we need to give you our email?
We have the participants list that we're going to download, and we're going to do it that way. How you say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.